I'm Supervisor Ed Wareheim, and welcome to Smithtown GTV. I want to welcome you here this morning to the Lofts at Maple, and we're going to have our groundbreaking ceremony here. This is the first official Smart Growth TOD project in the town of Smithtown that we've been planning for quite some time. Before I go on, I'd like to make some introductions and welcome the DiCarlo family. Anthony, Jared, your construction manager, Andy Zuccaro. This is the DiCarlo project, and we want to welcome you to Smithtown, and thank you so much, Anthony and Jared, and please relay to your dad, Sal. We are so very, very excited that we finally made this project come to fruition, and we're very, very happy you're here today. I also want to introduce and acknowledge someone who's been with us throughout our entire efforts with downtown business revitalization. And that's our Suffolk County Executive, Steve Bellone. County Executive, thank you so much. Also here, our State Assemblyman, Michael Fitzpatrick. Michael, thank you. I'd like to introduce my team, and certainly you've heard me enough since I've been in office. I don't do this alone. It is always a team effort. Councilman and Deputy Supervisor Tom McCarthy. I want to give a special thanks to Tom McCarthy as well, because Tom does handle all of our development and land use departments in town, does an excellent job. So Tom, thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Lynn Nowick. Councilwoman Lisa Inzarello. Councilman Tom Lohman. Highway Superintendent Robert Murphy. And our town clerk, Vincent Pulio. Make no mistake about it, nothing that we have done in the last 2 years for the town of Smithtown would happen without this team. They're fully cooperative. They're a huge help to me, and I acknowledge them all and thank them all for the efforts. So thank you very much, Town Council. Eric Alexander from Vision Long Island, who we've been doing a lot of work with. Eric, thank you so much for being here. Our Smithtown Chamber of Commerce, huge supporters, so we thank them for being here this morning as well. Our representatives from the Smithtown Fire Department, our neighbors right here. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And Mario Matera, who we just appointed to the Business Advisory Committee. Mario from the Suffolk County Water Authority. Mario, thank you so much for being here. We also have Regina is here. Where's Regina? Regina Zara here. Thank you, Regina, for being here today. Regina's working with us on a number of efforts that are going to really help Smithtown, so thank you so much for being here. So a little more than a year ago, in September of 2018, many of you joined us for a walking tour with the county executive discussing smart growth in Smithtown. I think we started in dedicated a parking lot, and I think the county exec said, this is what we've come to, dedicating parking lots. But he also acknowledged how important off-street parking really is. And we're pleased to say, after we got finished with that parking lot, about 13 businesses said they had about an 8% uptick in business right here in Smithtown. This site was a focus, as it is the start of the downtown revitalization in Smithtown. I'm very proud to say that thanks to a symbiotic relationship between the town, the county, and the private sector, we're here to break ground on Smithtown's first transit-oriented development. This project will consist of 15,000 square feet of commercial space on a lower level, 71 market-rate apartments above the retail shops, and the project will generate over $250,000 in tax ratables right here to the Smithtown community. So that's a great success. For over a decade, this lot has been vacant. It was once a former Nassau-Suffolk Lumber and Supply Company. Upon completion, our young workforce and empty nesters will have high-end homes and apartments that are walkable distance to restaurants and railroad stations and shopping. The average young business professional is looking for convenience. They want to have everything at their fingertips. They want small carbon footprint, and they want to help our environment. They want to shop, enjoy lunch and dinner, have access to mass transit, commute to work, all within walking distance. Putting a shovel in the ground today makes this the first step in delivering on the demand for smart growth communities in the heart of Main Street. On behalf of the town of Smithtown, welcome to our neighborhood, and thank you all for being here. I would now like to turn the mic over to someone who is always there for us, always. Anytime we need to get in touch with him, he's there. We've had a banner week here in Smithtown last week with a number of initiatives, off-street parking, a $20 million bill that was signed by the governor for the beginning of sewering in the Kings Park Business District. All of these things are absolutely necessary to move forward with the town of Smithtown the way we want. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you this morning, someone who is always there for us, County Executive Steve Bellone.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'm sad to say I don't have a $20 million bill with me today for this announcement, but it is pretty exciting to be here on a beautiful day for something that is significant not only here in the town of Smithtown, but across our entire region. I'm proud to be here with Supervisor Wertheim, our Deputy Supervisor McCarthy, all the members of the town board. I thank them for their great work here. I also want to just say to Lynn Noack, my former colleague in the legislature, it's always great to be with you. And to all of my colleagues here, Mike Fitzpatrick from the state and partners, Eric Alexander, and to the DiCarlo family, the private sector. You know, there's a couple of things that are important when you're trying to make really significant things happen. The first thing is leadership. Leadership is an essential, critical element in driving forward any project of significance in this region, where we have seen time and again how difficult it can be to move things forward. And what you have seen here from the town supervisor and working together with a great team is exactly that. Leadership that is setting the pace for the region. This project and what is happening on the ground here in Smithtown is exactly what we need to be doing across Suffolk County, across Long Island, in order to grow our economy, retain young people, and to allow us to reach our economic potential to create high-paying jobs. The other thing I think that is really important that you see reflected here, the only way we do significant things in this region, like what's happening here in Smithtown, is when you are working together, when you are pulling together the various resources and entities and agencies of our different levels of government and working together around a common mission. And that is, you know, we all care about this place. We all care about our families and our communities, and we want them to thrive and prosper. And if that is what you are concerned about as a public official, your focus is making sure you're pulling people together in order to get these big things done. I think Supervisor Wertheim and the leadership here is a perfect example of that. The county is here to support the great efforts that are happening on the ground in Smithtown. You are making a difference not only for the community here. You know, the supervisor described this lot as a vacant lot. So what does that mean? So a vacant lot here for that long, it means you haven't had taxes coming into the school district, to the local taxing jurisdictions to support and reduce the tax burden on our residents. You have basically a hole in the downtown here, you know, that does not encourage people to walk and to want to stroll in the downtown. And what are you replacing that with now? You're replacing that with a beautifully designed, new, mixed-use building that's going to provide new businesses in the downtown. And because it has that housing component, it's going to have people who will be the customers for the small businesses in this town, for the restaurants, for the shops that are here. That natural customer base that is so critical to growing out and revitalizing an economy. And we're going to continue to work with the supervisor on sewers here, not just in Kings Park, but here in downtown Smithtown, so we can continue the great work that is happening in this town. It's an honor to be here today. My congratulations to everybody, but particularly the town of Smithtown, for really helping to lead the region in what we need to be doing across Long Island. Congratulations,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Supervisor.
County
Thank you.
Executive, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us today. I'd like to introduce our State Assemblyman, Mr. Mike Fitzpatrick. Michael?
Thank you, Eddie. And I just want to compliment Supervisor Wareheim, his town board, his team in planning, our county executive, Steve Ballone, for what I think is going to be Smithtown 2.0. The residential model that built Long Island, and is still a viable model, has to be broadened. If you're going to have economic vitality in your downtown areas, you have to have people living here. Back in the days when we were kids growing up here, you had to come to downtown Smithtown or downtown Kings Park or St. James to buy a suit, buy clothes, buy shoes, to buy things. Then we moved out to the mall. Then from the mall we went to an outlet center. And now you do everything online. So in order for your downtowns to remain viable, you need people. And you do that with transit-oriented development. And working with people like Eric Alexander of Vision Long Island, a wonderful group with Mario Matera and our friends in organized labor who will build these structures, Smithtown is ready. Smithtown 2.0, as I like to call it, is upon us. So the future begins today here in Smithtown. It's beginning in Kings Park. It's being renewed in Kings Park, and St. James is not far behind. But we are going to have opportunities for people who don't want a single-family home. We have plenty of those, but now we're going to have opportunities, housing opportunities for people who want to lead a different type of lifestyle. And I'm looking forward to the day where we cut the ribbon. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. I'd also like to introduce to the mic someone who we stay in constant contact with, who's a wealth of information when we need it on smart growth development, and that's Vision Long Island, Eric Alexander. Eric?
Thank you. I mean, beautiful day in Smithtown, right, guys? It's been a beautiful day, literally. I mean, I was making a joke. This groundbreaking is groundbreaking for so many different levels, right? There was a time when the town of Smithtown wasn't open or creative to these types of developments. That time, thankfully, has passed. And we got to thank Supervisor Ed Wareheim and the members of the town board. The whole team is all around us, and it's just fantastic. I mean, what's happening here, you've heard it already, and we're certainly going to hear from the developer in a minute, and certainly the DiCarlo family and Andy Zaccaro know what they're doing. They can do these projects. We're excited about seeing. I've spoken to some of the folks down here. I know the deli's really excited about coming in. I know that Portuguese restaurant with the Radizio. I mean, I just, every time I pass there, it's like I get sucked in like a tractor beam, So great downtown, but it needs some more vibrancy. It needs folks living here. Precisely has already been said. 120 of these types of projects have been approved across Long Island over the last 13 years, total of 13,000 plus units, almost 14,000 now. We're glad to see Smithtown now kind of plant their flag, get these projects on the map. I know there's more to come. I know there's discussions about sewers. We just came back last week. We were talking with a whole team of folks, including folks behind us here, about sewers for Kings Park, which is exciting. I don't know, Ed, what are we doing next week? Is there something going on?
Sure, there'll be something going on.
There's something, plenty of work to do. Great job, folks. And we look forward to, just staying part of it and continuing to help you in any way in your revitalization. Great job.
Thank you, Eric.
And Supervisor Steve Ballone, of course, in his leadership. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Eric. Okay, so I just saw some of our planning people here, so they're in the back, but let me just give a shout out. This would not happen as well without great planners, great engineers. So in the back, our planning department, let's give them a hand for what they do for us here, too. Okay, so the DiCarlo family, we are so very happy to have you here today. I would like to introduce Anthony and Jared and Andy Zaccaro, their construction manager, to come on up and say a few words as well.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Wow, we got lucky with this weather today, huh?
Yes, we did.
Such a beautiful day to celebrate something so monumental. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anthony DiCarlo, and my family and I are the developers of the lofts on Maple and Main. Today is a very special day for us, for Smithtown, and for the community. This project is one of the backbone developments in the revitalization of Main Street, Smithtown. All together with 2 additional properties that we were able to, and fortunate enough to be able to acquire. Along the way, the project goes right up to the corner of Maple Avenue, and in total, we'll be adding 71 gorgeous loft-style apartments and approximately 15,000 square feet of retail space. The project also has a 10% affordable component as well. Situated just a short walk to the train station, these residences make it ideal for the transient commuters traveling to and from the city for work. We assembled a great team with Andy Zuccaro from Zuccaro Construction, quarterbacking the development. They are renowned builders on the island, and their reputation precedes them. We worked with them before in some of our previous projects, and we look forward to working with them again. In short, this project will be absolutely stunning when it's complete, and something to be very proud of that I can assure you. I want to thank Supervisor Wareheim and County Executive Steve Bellone for their support and coming out to celebrate today. And everyone else from the press, fire department, councilmen and women, Eric Alexander from Vision, Long Island, Nicole Gargiulo, and everyone else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Thank you. Mario, if you can keep it short, would you like to come up and just say a few words? Because we do have the ceremony to go, but come on up here, Mario.
I didn't write anything. Hi, everybody. Great day for Smithtown. I'm going to tell you something. First of all, you guys couldn't have picked a better GC than Zuccaro. Andy Zuccaro, I'm going to tell you something. Top shelf. You know, going by, living in Smithtown for 54 years, going to Nassau Suffolk Lumber and now seeing this property sitting here, nothing happening. Finally, Smithtown, we need things to happen. And I'm going to tell you something. I say this, we're finally in the 21st century, 19 years too late. But you know what? With this team, our supervisor, Wareheim, everybody, I'm going to tell you something. For a man that didn't need to really take this job, he took it for a reason, from his heart. And it means everything. And that's why we're finally moving forward with everything in Smithtown. And I'm going to tell you something. I appreciate it, Lynn Nowick, and all the board with Lisa, Tommy, and Tom McCarthy, and Highway Superintendent Murphy. You know what? They have a team. And that's the best part. They're all together. And I'm going to tell you something. When you're in sync with each other, it goes a long way and things get done. So Supervisor Wareheim, keep up the great work. I am always going to be here. I will be the voice of Smithtown, whatever I could possibly do. And Lynn, we know that, right? But again, thank God for this project. We need to start. And you know what? Great day for Smithtown. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. And again, Nicole, thank you. Nicole Gargiulo. Nothing happens. None of these events happen without Nicole, so thank you. I also want to just acknowledge someone who we've worked with very, very closely. Probably at times he had enough of us, but we kept on badgering him. And that's the attorney representing the DiCarlo family, Vincent Tremarco Sr. Vincent, thank you for everything you've done through this project as well. So, again, a great day. Very pleased to have you all here. Andy, you want to say a few words? I'm sorry. Come on up, Andy. I thought you'd come up with Anthony, but go ahead.
No, I was guaranteed this weather every day of the year from the DiCarlo family. Now, thank everybody for coming. It's going to be an amazing project, and you guys get all the kudos.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Andy. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Councilwoman Lynn Nowick, and I'm here today on this wonderful day for downtown revitalization in the village of Smithtown. This is going to be a great project. Don't forget, we're right next to the railroad station. We have restaurants. We're going to have some stores. I think we're going to be very lucky, and this is going to happen very fast, and I think you will all love it.
We're very excited to step in to the next phase of Smithtown and the revitalization of the town of Smithtown. Looking forward to what Mr. Wareheim and his team has in store for the town.
with changes in shopping patterns and retail, changes in retail, our downtowns have been adversely affected. So way back in the late 60s when the Smith Haven Mall opened up, we started to see fewer shopping opportunities downtown because people were migrating to the mall. Everything was under one roof, one location, and the idea was convenience. Then what happened was the internet came along, and companies like Amazon and others, and companies selling more on the internet, which further damaged your downtown, but also had an adverse impact on the malls and also the outlet malls. So people were looking to save money, shopping online, looking at those opportunities, all the while downtown businesses were fading away. So in order to revitalize a community, you need people. People have to live downtown in order to revitalize that. If we look at Patchogue, what's the difference? People live there now. If you look at Farmingdale, what's the difference? People live there now. If you look at the Ronkonkoma Hub and what is planned for that community, it's going to be people living in the community, transit-oriented development. We have the railroad station just across the street, and what people have to be mindful of is that what's happening at the MTA with East Side Access, the revitalization of Penn Station, and the third track out to Hicksville, that is going to create an opportunity for the Port Jefferson branch to be electrified sometime down the road in the future. And when that happens, all of the communities along that rail line, including Kings Park, Smithtown, and St. James, will become much more valuable, and that's why we're pursuing money for sewers to create transit-oriented development in downtown Kings Park, downtown St. James, and starting today in downtown Smithtown.
This project was planned and conceived many years ago, vacant lumber property, conceived to be mixed-use development, multifamily housing, 71 units. I went through a long planning stage, did finally get approved, but folks are wondering, is it ever going to get built? So we're glad to see that the new administration stepped in and really helped fast track, again with the help of the county exec, to move forward and get this project built.
This is a project that has actually languished for more than a dozen years, unfortunately. And our administration that took office 2 years ago vowed that we would be deeply involved in the revitalization of all three of our downtown business districts. So this is the first one. We are all extremely excited to have the DiCarlo family and Andy Zuccara as the developer come in here and build this wonderful project. This is going to be a huge advantage to both residents who want to rent properties in close proximity to the railroad station and walkable distance to restaurants and the theater right here in Smithtown. So again, we're very excited to begin the project. It's the first one, and we feel it will set a tone and be a model moving into St. James and the Kings Park Business District as well.